Good morning, boys and girls. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our lesson for this week. This week's lesson is we are going to be using our bite-sized art presentations for presentation purposes only. So that means I'm only going to show you what you need to know using this presentation. You will not need to use this to complete your assignment. This week we're going to be learning about positive and negative space. Usually when we think of the words positive and negative, we think of good and bad. But in art, these words have different meanings. Positive space is the main subject or focus in an artwork. Negative space is the area around the subject or the background of an artwork. For example, we have our little crayon here, and our crayon is our main subject and the space around it is the background, right? So our main subject would be positive, the crayon is positive, and the negative space is the background. Let's go ahead and look at what Joseph and Elizabeth are going to teach us, and let's watch very carefully.
Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this is Art Quest.
Art Quest!
Look at me, I'm positive space.
No, I'm positive space.
We're both positive space.
And what's all that?
That's negative space.
In art, positive space is the space that an object occupies.
And negative space is all the space around that object.
Let's see if we can find the positive and negative space in these collages by artist Lane York.
In the curious effects of clean linen, the man stretching is the positive space.
And everything around him is the negative space.
In a backcountry how do you do, the positive space is the two people with the dog in the canoe along with their reflection.
And everything in black is the negative space.
And in adding insult to injury, here's all the negative space.
And the dancing couple make up the positive space.
I think we got it now, don't you?
I'm positive.
And now you know that art is all around you.
To share the art around you,
Visit us online at
Alright, so let's go ahead and look at our paintbrushes that we have here. Can you find the positive and negative space in each artwork? Let's remember, the positive space is the subject of the painting. So let's look at what we have here. This painting is called Fishing Boats, and it was made in 1903 by Winslow Homer. Here we have a painting of a few boats on the ocean water, and remember, we're trying to identify what is the positive space and what is the negative space. The positive space would be the boats. If you said boats, then you are correct. That is the positive space. The negative space is all of the space around these boats, so the sky and the water. Let's go ahead and select another paintbrush. Here we have a painting by Camille Pissarro. Now let's look at what we have here in terms of positive and negative space. What would be our positive space? There's a few answers for this one. It's everything that's occupying the background, right? The area, right? So it can be anything from the buildings to the trees or even the people in the horse and carriages on the road. All the negative space is the space in between these objects. Now's the time to go ahead and practice. So let's practice on understanding positive and negative art. Go ahead and grab a paper, a marker or crayon, and something to write with. let's go ahead and begin. First, you're going to go ahead and have your piece of paper here on your table, a flat surface. And now you're going to fold it in half. So these two edges that you see me pointing to, you're going to make sure those meet. And you're going to make sure you crease it nice and well. Okay, now you will open it, and what you're going to go ahead and do is now you're going to decide what object you'd like to draw on each side. First, label positive and negative. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my negative space section. First, I'm going to write it at the top with a thin marker. You can use whatever you'd like to write it in. You can use a pencil or another marker. And on the opposite side, you're going to see me writing positive space. So now that I have positive and negative space written out, you're going to draw the outline of your favorite object. It can be a butterfly, an apple, a flower. But watch how I'm going to draw it, and I'm going to show you. Now, this is how it should look. It will only be an outline of the object that you choose. It won't be all the details like the eyes and the nose and the lips. You don't need to add that. All you'll need to add is the outline. Okay, so here you see an outline of a butterfly. Next, I'm going to go ahead and color in my sections in the correct manner. Okay, remember, our positive space is the space that is occupied by the object or the object itself, and the negative space is the space around the object. Let's go ahead and color in our objects or our space appropriately. So I'm working on the negative space right now. So remember, the negative space is the space around the object. So I am coloring around the object to show that I understand what my negative space is. And now I'm coloring my object, which is my positive space. And this is how the object should appear. It will be colored in. So the negative space, remember, is the space around our object. Positive is the space that is the object itself. Okay, so I'm showing my negative space colored in on the left, and that is why my butterfly is blank. And on the right, I'm showing my positive space, which is why the background is blank and the butterfly is colored in. So again, you may choose the object that you're going to be drawing. It can be a fruit, an insect, or it can be an animal. But remember, you're not adding all the details. It's just going to be the outline of the object, okay? So it can be whatever that you may decide to draw. That is it for this week, boys and girls. I want you to have an amazing week. We'll see you next time. Bye!